I want to introduce my next guest. His name is Victor Salamba. He's a familiar face here on the show, particularly on Relationship Tuesday. We've now coined his phrase, have a meeting with yourself, okay? Victor, welcome back to the show.
Thank you so much.
Good to have you. Today we want to talk about understanding our significant others.
Yeah.
And, you know, all of us want to be seen, we want to be heard, we want to be understood. We want our significant others to say, you know what, I hear you, I get it. Maybe even you're right. Like sometimes you just want to hear someone say, you are right and I am wrong. Why do you think in relationships, you know, when it's supposed to be a coming together of two minds, why is it that it almost seems that we're so anxious to have this, you know, do we call it validation, really?
Yeah.
Of our opinions, of our answers? Why is that?
No, we all have a need to be accepted. We all want to be accepted somehow. And the danger of the relationship is that you always believe that the person you're getting to get married to, for example, we have a general assumption that they'll get us from the very beginning. And the danger, this is where the difference between dating and marriage comes in. You see, in dating, people tend to accept you because they have more motivation. In marriage, people accept you less because the motivation has gone down. And therefore, that's why it's important during dating to be very clear that, does this person really get me, or is it just because we're having a good Saturday afternoon?
Right.
You know, it's just because things are working. If exposed to stress, will she really get me, or will he really get me?
Right,
You
and
know?
that's, I mean, our previous guest just now, that was sort of her experience, because she found herself pregnant and then ended up in the marriage just because she felt, you know, where else am I supposed to go?
Yeah, because but that's actually, it's good she's been able even to be honest about it. It's because I normally advise people that if you're pregnant and not yet married, wait first, give birth, then think thereafter. Because it's very easy for you to get into any marriage simply because of the situation that you're in.
Right.
And you're thinking, let's just run into it. You know, things will work out as you continue. Marriage never works itself out as you continue. It doesn't. It's not. You can never have marriage on autopilot. You know, we just began and I'll figure it out as we go. You'll get to me, I'll get you. No. It's a daily responsibility.
Yeah.
You wake up in the morning and like, now, today, I must choose to get her. And that's why we normally say that in marriage, even the aspect of love is not even a feeling in marriage. It's a conscious, deliberate choice.
Right.
Because the days you look at your partner and wonder,
I'm not that in love with you right now.
where was I?
What were we thinking?
Where was I? You know, and they still expect you that day to show up. You know,
Right.
they expect you to show up that day. And so being able just to navigate those different seasons is what is very key.
I think you've raised an interesting point as far as for those who find themselves pregnant out of wedlock, you know, to hold off and wait. But what would you say to the guy who says, you know what, but maybe I want to marry her so that she can have, you know, my health benefits or whatever it is? I mean, is that a noble reason so that you can attach, you know, health insurance, health benefits and whatnot?
I don't think so. Because I've always said children are like tourists.
Okay.
Yeah, they come to your house, they spend your resources, and they go.
Yeah.
I did that to my mom. My kids will do that to me also.
Yeah.
They'll spend my money and go. And I must be aware when I'm getting married to think that, is it about the kids? No, marriage precedes children. I must think, by the way, these kids will grow. This pregnancy will come to an end.
Yeah.
The health benefits won't be perpetual. She won't be pregnant perpetually throughout the marriage. The time when she stop being pregnant. Then things begin to become real at that time.
Right.
So it's good for both parties to take a break and think, let's finish this process first and think, do we really want to do this now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's not be high on something else. Do we want to do this now? At times, don't you want to protect yourself so much? You know, me, I'm a church goer. It's not a good policy that I got pregnant out of wedlock. You know, I'm the worship leader. All those things. No.
Better a broken relationship than a broken marriage.
Yes. Just wait. Yeah.
You know, at the beginning of the show, I read a quote about that it's not a lack of love that makes unhappy marriages, but it is a lack of friendship.
Yeah.
Can you talk to us a bit about how, you know, understanding and in relationships, understanding your partner is so linked to friendship? If you guys have sort of developed the values, you know, that keep you guys together as friends, so that, you know, after your kids have gone, you know, what is it that is keeping you two together?
Friendship actually is key for any marriage to last. You must ensure the person is your friend. What happens is that during dating, we try pull things apart. We try to separate and say, this is my lover, this is my friend. Once you're in that line, you're walking a dangerous path. They must come in one package. That's a buy one, get one. You get this person is your lover and your friend. They must come to, they must be, because if at all I have a conflict maybe with my wife, if I begin from a place that she's my friend first, we have an easier way to solve it. If I begin by, even if I have anything, if I have maybe M-Pesa statements for nowadays you have passwords on everything, passwords on everything, eye scanner, lenses, everything. If I don't have married to you, did I marry my enemy? I married my friend.
Right.
It's easy for me to begin from a discussion of that. This is my friend, then she must know that maybe I own land in Roy. I have this amount in my bank account. I have this because she's my friend. But you see, the absence of friendship now makes me want to bathe with my phone, wants me to hide, to hide my things.
You sleep with it here.
You sleep with it, people run out of the bathroom as though it's going to be an accident. They run at high speed to cover their phones because the guy forgot the phone. Why? This is not my friend. So even when you are talking, you'll fight with your friend, you'll fight with your enemy differently than how you fight with your friend.
Is that what one of the phenomena that we're seeing now is people who've been married for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years even, all of a sudden one day wake up and decide that they're divorcing.
Yeah.
What have you seen? Because you're a relationship coach, you've counseled, I'm sure, many couples.
Yeah.
What explains that? What are you seeing in relationships that are becoming such pitfalls that you can advise us to be looking out for?
You see, the best relationships have the best managers, because relationships are supposed to be managed. Now, you can't manage what you don't understand. So it's coming out of your space and choosing to understand your partner through their transitions. Because if you got married now, in the next 10 years, your husband will be so different. And you see, if you don't journey with him through his transitions, you'll be left at the guy you met last year. You'll start saying the guy has changed, but he has transitioned. So I must take time also to get out of my space and look at my wife and think, where is she now? If we got married in our 20s, now we are in our 40s. What is the difference?
Right. And it should be expected. You can't expect someone to stay the same.
They don't stay the same. But you see, now we have a fixation. The person who you met that day, who you fell in love with, is where you stay. We never move from there. We don't move from the big weddings. We stay at the big weddings. We stay there. We forget that actually the real job begins the next morning.
Right.
That's when I realized that, okay, she's not going back. She's here for a long time. Now what do we do with this? And the problem is that when you lack understanding, the older you get, the more you forget what to do with your partner.
Yeah.
I've seen people looking at their wives and wondering, how was she talked to again? Did I used to hold her head? Was it her hand? Was it her feet? What did I used to do suddenly? Because you've taken too much time growing apart, not following them as they transition.
Right.
Yeah.
So in terms of understanding our partners, what are some of the things that we can do, particularly as far as communication is concerned? You'll find that a lot of couples are almost afraid of, we have this thing where you're afraid of expressing exactly what you feel, even though this person should be your best friend.
Yeah.
But it's like we can't express what we're actually feeling. So we just end up nunaing. Tunanuna tu kama ndazi ya dondo, for like weeks, and it just builds over and over. And then you find non-verbal communication sets in, and it's just attitudes and passive aggressiveness. How can we actually begin to be proactive at understanding our partners and helping them understand us as well?
First and foremost, I'll say something that is so cliche. First of all, is of course I must understand myself as a person. Let's start from there. But two, I must remember this, that before my wife was my wife, she's a woman from the core. Before I am who I am a man from the core. Our communication lines vary as heaven varies from the earth. For example, guys communicate with headlines. If I tell a guy, ile nini kwa ile nini imefanya nini, atasema and the guy got it, So,
it's true.
And women love details. Yeah, women love details. If my wife asks me how was your day, if I tell her it was fine, that's what she does.
Sisi hatutaki kusikia.
You hajasikia, she'll be wondering, what is it fine? To be fine is a good answer. But her, she wants to know, again, consciousness at 6:02.
Ulikula nini lunch?
So it's good to understand that from the core we are different. Women love a lot of information. Men give headlines. But also, find also the space they're in. Men have their own different ways of addressing the issues than women. A woman can wake up at 2 in the morning and talk. You can wake up at 2 and begin a story like you are awake the whole time. The guy must load. So this guy is loading. You woke up at 2. Now I want to tell you something. The guy's like, ah? He's trying to pick up where he is. Doesn't know where he is. So to understand that we are different from the core.
Yeah.
The mind of a woman works universally. Everything is connected. All things are connected. To a man, it's not universal. To a man, it's compartmentalized.
But okay, Victor, you're a dude.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna ask you as we get ready to go on this break right now.
Yeah.
You've counseled a lot of people.
Yeah.
You're a relationship coach. You're married. I mean, women, we're not that difficult to understand, are we? We'll go on the spot, by the way.
Should I answer now or later? you know that my wife is watching.
Your wife is watching.
It's good
okay, now natatemeka tu kidogo. We're gonna give Victor a break and actually take a short one right now, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. We're gonna continue with him, and I'll be inviting your questions. The SMS line is 22999. I can see some questions already coming in. We're gonna be sharing those with Victor and hearing out his opinions. This and much more right here on Full Circle with Joyce. Hey guys, welcome back to the show. This is Full Circle with Joyce, with me, Joyce Omondi-Wahiga. We're sitting here with Victor Salamba, our resident relationship coach, talking about understanding our partners and our significant others this morning. And, before the break, I was teasing Victor I'm trying to tetea for us ladies. We can't be that difficult to understand. But I think one of the biggest things in relationships, Victor, is body language. And maybe even for women, we don't get men's body language. There's a question here from someone who's saying, hi, Full Circle with Joyce. Hi, Joyce. I need advice. If a lady is more financially stable than a man and the lady keeps supporting this man, but it's like the man has no time for the lady, is it worth waiting to be married by this man? I mean, sasa hiyo ni nini?
I think that lady should come for prayers. Very special prayers at that matter. Because, you can't pay someone to love you.
Yeah.
And it's like she is paying this guy to love her. So she's investing the money that the guy can respond with love. If you already, first and foremost, that's a wrong premise. Because when you start supporting a man financially, you support a man financially who has a plan. And he's not a promissory note that the plan will mature vision 20 never. No. What is the plan that is working?
Where?
Yeah. If the guy has just a plan in the air, atindaanza toka biashara mahali, please run quickly and fast.
Okay.
Yeah, run quickly and very
quickly.
fast. Yeah.
All right. Someone here says, going back to the topic about friendship, someone here says, good morning, my name is Gladys from Nakuru. I've been married for 5 years with 1 child. My marriage is starting to fall apart. My husband is not my friend. He keeps petty secrets from me, which makes me unhappy. I'm not happy. We argue a lot. He doesn't listen to me at all, and I'm very tired. I feel the love is not there anymore, and I'm just tired. Sometimes I feel like leaving, but his family is always on his side, and they will always side with him and blame me for everything.
First and foremost, that is almost obvious, that there is no family that will take sides with the other person. That's almost impossible. If my wife has a problem with me and goes to my mom, of course my mom will take my side.
Right.
So first of all, your in-laws are not the first people to deal with your issues. Never go to them for any issues. Secondly is, try be his friend. Men are strange. Men fear judgment more than anything else. And women fear shame. It's the differences that we have. You see, when her daughter gets pregnant at 16, a woman will say that you have ashamed us. Like she's the one who's carrying this child. You see, guys will ignore, but men fear judgment. And when a man fears judgment, if you want to get information from him, disarm him by showing that you're not judging him. If he sees judgment, men have a gift of changing stories mid-air.
It's a gift.
It's a supernatural gift. A guy will begin talking about going to town, and how that story changes to he was going to the airport. You don't even understand. Because he said, I was going to town. Then you're like, what? He said, no, not town. Yani Kericho town. Not town, that other town. So
wow.
That's how guys are. So disarm him. Yeah, then he'll speak.
Okay, that's an important lesson for us then to learn. I think, they say when you're trying to get something, you need to understand what the weaknesses, what the strengths of your opponent, if you will, are. So you don't just march into an argument and, unaleta moto na jamaa tayari amewaka moto.
Oh, the first instinct any guy has is to defend himself. And at times men defend themselves by lying, which is a bad thing.
Yeah.
But it's the instinct. So disarm him. Gladys, disarm that man.
Here's another thing about understanding your partner
Yeah.
or your significant others we're talking about today. This is an interesting text. Hi, it's Carol from Ruero. I'm 18 years old and I want to ask, when is the perfect year to get married? Because my boyfriend keeps on telling me we get married next year. And she says, please help me. She's 18 years old. I mean, is there something she should be questioning about her boyfriend? Like, why the rush?
I have two questions. One, how old is he? That's a good first question to ask. Secondly, what is your plan in life, independent of this man? Because you can't start at 18 planning for a marriage. You see, because how sure are you that this guy knows what he's doing, what he's running away from? What are you running away from to think about marriage at 18? Because if you entered marriage at 18 with nothing, no education, no job, nothing, then there's a possibility you're walking yourself into something you'll regret in a few years.
So you think one or both of them is running away from something?
I believe they're both running away from something. Yeah.
Wow. Carol, I hope that helps you out this morning. Good morning. I'm Lavinda from Lavinda. I have been in a relationship for quite some time. The problem is my boyfriend is full of excuses. He loves football and his friends' company. He doesn't create time for me unless I force him to. He takes hours before replying texts. I feel like giving up, but I love him so much. What do I do? This is a problem that a lot of women face. You know, like, it's like futa ndio mpango wa kando wa kwanza, and then there's maybe other babes in the picture. But like, you know, women really struggle understanding men. Okay, fine, we understand men love their sports and everything, but surely, so you create time for your mama.
Now, I'm going to give her very simple advice. And we're giving all the women out there who are listening. We have different needs, men and women. For example, women love free-flowing, open communication.
Right.
Men love friendship. When a man marries a woman, he marries her because not only is he seeing a future with her, he's seeing a friend in her. What happens when you get married, stop being his friend? What does being his friend mean? Enter into his world. Enter into his world. You are more important to him than his friends. Don't criticize the football. No. In fact, research about the football. Tell him, when do we watch football?
Yeah.
When you're watching football, don't ask him, Bado hajaisha, how many more minutes? Sit in his world. When you sit in his world over time, men are more authentic when they're doing what they love to do. She'll see parts of him she has never seen. And you see, she goes home with him at the end of the day.
Right.
Yes.
So if you, because a lot of women will do that when they're dating, because you're trying to show him you're cool, you're with him, but then suddenly you get married and then you stop all that.
And you see, that's why the guy gets thrown off.
Yeah.
Because he married you because he thought you are cool enough to understand that he likes watching football. You are cool with the fact that love playing golf. Now you're married, you let him to go play golf by himself. If your husband has a hobby or your boyfriend has a hobby, understand that is his world. Enter into his world. When you enter into his world, it's easy for you to displace all other friends. That's what my wife did. Displaced all my friends.
All of them.
They all got displaced. They realized, okay, we're just the two of us.
Right.
But you know, she entered my world and I felt more comfortable now. I was like, okay, she's here. We're watching football. After football, she has me.
Yeah.
All the time she needs.
Yeah.
I am there. Football is 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're fighting for 90 minutes.
Imagine.
Yeah.
So it's not that men are afraid to call women their best friends.
No.
They actually want to.
They actually want to.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Someone here says, hey, Joyce, I'm Jerry. My husband always plays the victim each and every time we have an issue and ends up shifting all the blame on me. How can I deal with this? So she's not understanding her partner in the sense of he's not, stepping up to take part in his blame in an argument, for example.
Again, I go back to disarm the fellow. Men must be disarmed. Men have a unique gift of lying, a unique gift of changing stories. It's important that she takes time to think, how do I disarm this guy? First of all, when you have any argument, how do you disarm him? Start by accepting, me, I've done this and this. Don't even ask him, what have you done? You start saying what you have done. The moment you make him look like he's the one who's bad, no men have a mindset that they're always doing wrong things. I say, if you tell your husband, let's have a talk, he'll disappear for 2 weeks. Avoiding the talk.
But let me just give a tip. Actually, never tell you we need to talk. Just don't even say it. They get scared.
He thinks, what have I done? So he'll take 2 weeks doing research. Finding out, what did I do? Who died? He's trying to find out. When he's sure he's clean, he appears. You are saying? So when sure. Disarm the guy. Yes.
Oh my goodness. Let me read some of the SMSs that are coming in. Wow. Hi Joyce, thank you so much. Good morning. I'm watching the show. Hey, I'm Shiko from Topper. The show is always lit. Ati loving the show. I think you should bring Wahiga on the spot. No, thank you. But someone else here is saying, actually a gentleman who says, hey guys, I'm John. I fought with my wife, but I'm the one who wronged her. Wow, I appreciate you for actually acknowledging that. And then he says, I have told her sorry and forgive me, but she has refused to forgive me, even though she talks with Mr. She has moved to rent her house and I'm very confused. I wish I could die the next minute. The text is a little bit unclear, but definitely it's a person who has fought with his wife. I guess she maybe has someone else, but he's obviously very desperate to fix their relationship.
Yeah, when the guy has wronged his wife, women don't take sorry as the end of the issue. Unlike men take sorry as the end of the issue. A woman wants to eat the issue, discuss the issue, that she can track in his heart the level of remorse and the level of him being apologetic. So he should be patient enough to journey with her through the journey of forgiveness, because men at times make this mistake. Men, we believe that women forgive like we do. You see, because guys, if I have an issue with a guy, I'll tell him, let's go eat some lunch. By virtue we are eating lunch, we are forgiving each other. We won't talk about the issue. So guys believe that if I tell my wife sorry, that she moves on with the story. No, she doesn't stop at that. A woman wants to get into the issue. She wants to walk with you emotionally through the issue, that you wear her shoes. Then she'll be able to judge your sorry if it's genuine or not.
Right.
She won't just take a time, sorry, forgive me.
Harakishe.
No.
Yeah.
Give her the time she needs, journey with her slowly.
Okay. Another question. Hi, Full Circle with Joyce. Please ask this question. What advice would you give this couple that has been married for 20 years? The wife is drinking too much and leaving the man to take care of the children. And the man loves her, that hajawahi mpiga, because he knows he can do something ugly when angry. Wow. 20 years married and the wife is drinking too much. The man is taking care of the children. Now, who doesn't understand who in that situation?
I think there has to be a bit of slowing down in this context, because I think the person who's writing is assuming that the woman is actually wrong. And you can't assume that she's wrong. Because if you're assuming that she's wrong, it's good to look at what is the genesis of her drinking. Did she begin drinking at the 18th year? If so, what happened to her to begin drinking? Is the drinking generational also? Does she come from a family of drinkers? Because that can be another issue. So it's good to look at the fact that, is she frustrated in her marriage also? So don't assume that drinking is a form of medication. It's just a symptom.
Right.
So you shouldn't rush also to say that she's a bad mother, she's a bad woman. We slow her down and find out what is really the problem.
Right.
Yeah.
What is the underlying issue?
Yeah.
There's a question here. Hey Joyce, I need to know whether it's a must to surprise your boyfriend or girlfriend, it could be husband or wife, with gifts, because I'm in a relationship and my boyfriend has never given me any gift, but I always gift him. This always ends up being, an issue with couples, right? Women don't understand, like, why aren't you giving me flowers? Why aren't you buying me chocolate? Why aren't you taking me out? And then the dude is like, but sinalipa rent, sinimelipa stima, si uko na maji. But talk to us about that.
Discuss what you need. So things you talk about openly. Tell your partner, you know what? Saa zingine tu, by mistake, just by mistake buy a flower, just by mistake, yani. See it, it's a must, just buy, tell them do this thing. Because there are also guys who never saw this happening.
Yeah,
there are guys who have never seen anyone buying a gift in their life. To him, love was coming home with unga ya ugali. That was love. So the guy comes home with a whole bale of ugali. He believes this is love now.
Oh man, nuna juu utapewa maua.
Ugali, I want flowers. So tell him, sasa zingine tu nunulie tu kashati, buy me a watch, buy me some, something. Let the guy be aware.
Right.
Because the guy might have never seen. To him, love is food. And he buys you food. And to him, he believes he's the best husband on earth. He's buying you food.
Yeah.
Just let the guy know.
I think that's an interesting point to get into, because it leads us to talk about expectations in a relationship. Again, another pain point when people don't understand each other or understand their significant other's expectations. I was once told that either you match your partner's expectations or they will have to lower their expectations for you guys to. Is that true? How
No.
do you find that balance?
I think that once you understand your partner's expectations, run with them, regardless of if they're meeting yours. Run with them. Because marriage is not for takers. Marriage is for givers. And I must be willing to give continuously. But now I must be willing to find out, what does my partner expect from me also? What are the parameters that are logical that they expect from me? For example, there are things that I know my wife expects from me out of instinct. Yeah. There are things that my wife expects out of me from her information given to me. So I must balance those things. I must know, when do I apply instinct, when do I not apply instinct. For example, if we come home together the evening and we are both tired, instinctively I know that she doesn't want to go to the kitchen. I don't start expecting her to
That's
go to the
the day
kitchen.
you want chapos. You want how many things?
Those are the days you're okay to even drink tea. Tukunywe chai ni sawa tu. Tukunywe chai. because at that particular point, the expectation has varied also.
Right.
It's good to know what someone wants. If you're pregnant, tell your partner, I expect you to be with me at the delivery ward. Mwambie mapema. Ajipange. It's good to say, this is what I expect you to call me at least once a day, find out how I am doing. Put those things also, but also more is on what you do, not what the other person does.
Wow.
Yeah.
Victor, always a pleasure to have you on the show. We have a lot of questions. Unfortunately, cannot get through all of them at this moment, but I do hope you'd be willing to come back again and again.
Definitely.
So thank you guys so much for all of your feedback. We do need to begin wrapping up the show, and so taking us to the end, here is Kush Tracy. She has her brand new song. It's called God is in Control. Kush Tracy, of course, is one of us here at Switch TV. She hosts Chat Spot, which runs weekday evening. So here is her song, I believe for the first time on maybe not Switch TV, but at least on Full Circle. I'll be back right after this.
Father, never let me go.